Given this is the Nation Center with the Daily Nation front page. They used me. Grandmother claims she's become a nuisance as her powerful, quote, friends no longer pick her calls. She was in studio. You will remember she endorsed now President William Ruto's presidential bid at the Bomas of Kenya. And her name is Pauline Waithira. And let me see if I can make this larger. Here we go. Pauline Waithira looks on as Deputy President William Ruto and his running mate Rigathi Gachagua present their papers before the IEBC at the Bomas of Kenya in Nairobi on June the 4th, 2022. And I see here a quote I was used to illustrate how poor people will benefit from the Ruto government through bottom up. But after they won the election, I was not even invited to Kasarani for the inauguration. I spent the whole day crying at home. People were laughing at me. And Ms. Pauline Waithira, aka Mama Mboga, sorts avocados at her market stall at Kangangi Market in Kembu County. She claims she was used and forgotten by UDA. This image taken by one Simon Shuri. Further down, I read on June 4th, 2022, exactly a year ago, Mama Mboga mingled freely with the Kenya Kwanza honchos, including its presidential ticket flag bearer, William Ruto, and Rigathi Gachagua at the Bomas of Kenya. Pauline Waithira, aka Mama Mboga, was let me see, I have zoom.com. Oh, there we go. Was the duo's bottom-up poster girl as they presented their papers to the IEBC before the elections, which they later won. Now, Ms. Waithira, who is 70, is a bitter woman. She accuses politicians of using her, then abandoning her, and claims she's become the village laughingstock. And also on the front page, I see here vasectomy gone wrong. Why court rejected man's 11 million shilling claim. DCI summons politicians in probe into tea farm attacks. Health MPs back push to outlaw detention of patients and bodies. And just looking at my copy of the paper here, it reads that hospitals that detain patients or bodies over unpaid bills to be fined 1 million shillings, according to the proposed bill. And Ruto is quoted as saying, I want to see MPs who vote against the finance bill. It was our very top story this morning, done by Ruth Sarmwe. You can find it on NTV Kenya's YouTube channel. Okay, that is the Daily Nation. Let's take a look at the Business Daily. And this is what their top story is. And why state put 180 billion shilling Mau Summit Highway plan on hold. Toll Road, the single largest French project in Kenya. Contractors initially meant to break ground in 2021. The Kenya Kwanza administration put on hold the construction of the Mau Summit Highway because it was expensive, with the state now pushing for a review of the 179.9 billion shilling project. I see also on the front page of the Business Daily, 4 banks shortlisted as lead arrangers for new Eurobond. And this particular report, penned by Julian Amboko, 4 banks have been shortlisted as potential lead arrangers for Kenya's planned return to the global financial markets between July and June 2024, as the government looks to ease the pressure in settling the $2 billion US dollar, which translates to 277.6 billion shilling Eurobond due next year. And Julian's writes that the Business Daily has learned that Citigroup, JP Morgan, Standard Bank and Standard Chartered Bank have made it to the shortlist for the planned issuance. Okay, so the next paragraph also reads, 2 sources familiar with the matter further reveal that the selection of lead arrangers kicked off in April, with the Treasury having published a request for EOI, expression of interest, for international lead managers for issuance of a sovereign bond on April 18th. The ticker now. And this is what is on the Business Daily ticker, what Somalia's entry into EAC means for region. Somalia is a few steps away from officially joining the East African community, a move that has elicited mixed reactions as the country is still roiled by civil conflict. On Friday, Somalia issued a public statement noting that the 7 presidents of the EAC countries had signed off the verification report, paving the way for its admission into the bloc. I also see on the ticker court petitions to liquidate defaulting firms double. Let's see. Lenders intensified their efforts at recovering unpaid loans from defaulters with petitions for courts to dissolve defaulters doubling in the last 10 months to April compared to the whole financial year of 2022-2023. And Safaricom stock price jumps from panic lows. Safaricom's share price has gained by nearly 1/3 since hitting multi-year lows driven by a major sell-off by foreign investors. Okay. So that is the front page of the Business Daily. Let's take a look at Taifa Leo. And this is what their headline story is. To see an image here of President William Ruto and Pauline at the Bomas of Kenya. This was June the 4th, 2022. Simon Shuri tells us exactly a year ago. And Ruto alinitupa Mama Mboga alia. And underneath that it reads usaliti katika kampeni za uchaguzi mkuu uliopita alitumiwa sana na wanasiasa wa UDA kama kielelezo cha Mama Mboga na bodaboda ambao serikali iliahidi kuwanyanyua kutoka kwenye lindi la umaskini. And so that is the top story. At the very top here it reads Pauline Waithera aliyetumiwa wakati wa kampeni za mwaka wa 2022 kuwakilisha maskini asema Kenya Kwanza ilimsahau. And other than that, on the front page of Taifa Leo, I see utalii baada ya miaka 60 wa Kenya 1400 kuhiji Mecca na Gor Mahia wanusa taji la ligi ya KPL. At the very top here, mswada wa fedha, rais atoa onyo, Ruto aonya wabunge wake dhidi ya kupinga kura la bungeni. All right, so that is the Taifa Leo. Let's quickly take a look at the Standard and then the Star. And I have the People Daily this morning. Okay, let's take a look at the Standard first. Okay, looks like I'll have to purchase that. But the East African, before I skip past it, reads as such. Ruto plays West Russia ping pong, looking to save a tanking economy, a weakening shilling, and deliver fertilizer and food to his, quote, hustlers. The Kenyan leader has found dividend in a seeming cautious neutrality on the festering Ukraine crisis. Political capital for Museveni in anti-gay law. Now a hero in the eyes of his supporters for, quote, standing up against foreign ideology. If there was anything against his 2026 bid, it is defeated. And Rwanda wants M23 at Congo peace talks. PM Ngirente says it is unfair to settle the rebels without their say in the exercise. Also on the front page, an image of President William Ruto with Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov at State House Nairobi, where they discussed reforms needed at the UN Security Council, the Ukraine crisis, and ties between Nairobi and Moscow. I'll be getting into that with my panelists on Thursday. All right, let's now take a look at the Star. Front page of the Star, tax debate. Raila's new plan, Ruto warns MPs. Government says opposition had the housing agenda as one of its key pledges in manifesto. This particular report penned by Julius Otieno. And look at which, an image of the president here in Narok, laughing very hard. I wonder what the joke was. And behind him, I see the PS for Interior, and that is Raymond Omolo. All right, major showdown. President has defied Azimio's demands to withdraw the finance bill. At the very top here, boy one undergoes brain surgery in Makwenu Hospital. And if I scroll further down, also on the front page, they have highlighted 4 police officers accused of robbing beef trader of 333,000 cash arrested. Staff complacency blamed for death of accident victim at Mama Lucy Hospital. And bordering what we're discussing this morning, Maurice Makabe has written a piece on climate action, a partnership venture. And let's take a look at the People Daily before I figure out the Standard. And this is their front page headline. Reject tax bill at your own peril, Ruto warns. MPs had tackled president in charm offensive to pass controversial levies at meetings with lobby groups amidst onslaught by Azimio Brigade. An image here of the president, Soipantuya, in Narok. Yesterday, President Ruto, I am waiting to see the MPs who will go against the government's plan to give their voters employment. Why CBK will go slow on digital currency. Also on the front page, Cults Task Force kicks off team to seek public views on regulation of churches after Shakahola deaths. And at the very top here, Shabana, one win away from KPL League promotion. Royal troops set to meet over talks standoff, and that is today. All right, so this is the People Daily. I will look at the Standard, but just quickly before I open it on my screen here, this is the headline: Kenyans look to MPs to save them from tax burden. But more specifically, I'd like to invite my panelists to begin weighing in on this. And there's a supplement through pages 21 to 26 of the Standard as the world marks Environment Day. Let me reintroduce my panelists to